Namaste everyone. So today's video is going to be on critical thinking and factual thinking. It will be much more on education system and being educated in a whole. So let's get started with the critical thinking and factual thinking. In today's era, as I speak, people are factual oriented, facts oriented, which are in Google, which are in Wikipedia, which are given by United States, which are given by United Nations, which are given by a fixed authority or a fixed media that's we as a people gave authority and say, hey, you have the authority to make this as a fact and prove it in a period of time again and again. So those are facts. Facts are the thing that happens or that we know in periodical basis if we do it again and again, and that's the fact. That's the fact. That's what we call it. That's the fact. But critical thinking is a much more oriented on your experiences and your analogy and your way of synthesizing the situation or the topic or an ideology, or you can just say a particular subject or a topic you're thinking or you are expanding on. That's critical thinking. It's not just saying, it's much more NASA saying, hey, in this orbit this happened, and critical thinking is saying, okay, if this happened then this orbit would be this. It's much more of a subjective knowledge than factual knowledge around the world. Critical thinking is for the people, for subjectivity. People who are individual, they want to analyze the world from their own eyes rather than seeing the reflection from authority such as NASA, United States, encyclopedia, or a book, or a priest, or something else. In today's world, factual thinking is 95 or more than 90%. Most of the people are pre-programmed or programmed or being programmed on factual thinking. So factual thinking is whatsoever you are taught in schools, whatsoever you're taught in universities, whatsoever you're taught in periodical time, that's been recorded, and that's called so-called science, and today's media are saying it's the right thing to do, or that's what it is. Critical thinking, whereas, goes on a fundamental basis, where a person as an individual separate himself from the world, from the place, from the school, or from anyone, from a particular group, and he start thinking from himself, from his own five senses, and one, the computer called brain, he thinks on it, he analyzes on it, and the decision he makes or the conclusion he gets from that thinking pattern, analyzing, synthesizing, experimenting, then the whole process is called critical thinking. So why I'm going on this basis is because we as a species, humans, we are being programmed. We grow up in a certain ethnicity, we grow on certain culture, we grow on certain school, we grow on certain lifestyle. So we as let's just say experiencer, we think that this is the factual way, this is the fact, this is what it is, this should be, this is what we should behave as, this is what we should speak with, this is what we should look, this is what we should be looked at, kind of like in this way. But a critical thinker goes around, he's a poet, he's a scientist, mad scientist, he is a writer, he's a novel artist, he's a sci-fi kind of guy. So he goes around the border that's been given by the society, that's been given by a school, that's given by the universities, that's given by your priest, that's given by your religion. That's what a critical thinker does. And both have their own polarities. And I'm not saying factual thinkers are right and critical thinkers are wrong, but it depends on time and space, and time and place, exactly where we're speaking, whom we're speaking, and how we are relating it to the world. And that's the present situation. Most of the people are being factual thinkers rather than critical thinkers. And in a way, factual thinkers are much more easy to be hypnotized, or are much easy to be hypnotized with. because they have their fixed identity, fixed knowledge, and fixed information that they think is right in every scenario. But whereas critical thinkers, they don't have anything from the first. They analyze it and then they have a decision, or then they have a conclusion. But factual thinkers has a certain era, certain information, certain rules, certain regulations, certain facts, let's just say, on their memory or on their brain. So they analyze comparing with those kind of stuff. They compare it and then they analyze and they give you the conclusions. Education system and education and being educated. The second topic on this topic would be education system and being educated. It all depends on the subjective and objective way of a person looking at the world. A person can make a computer without even having a computer degree, but a person with a computer degree might not even know what a computer is. It's kind of boom, and it's kind of bold statement for me to make, but that's what the world runs in. Education system was first invented as a whole in 1906 by John D. Rockefeller. John D. Rockefeller to increase the education or schooling system of American system. Before 1906, there was no education system at all. There was no schooling system at all. The people, what they had to study was from a gurukulas or from a school of Zen, or go to East, let's just say, to gain any knowledge or share. There was no schooling system back then. In a way, that's a good thing and a bad thing. Because of schooling system today, each and every person can get a regular education, can get the same, let's just say, equal amount of efforts from the government, from the school, from the society. They can get the equal information. But here's the risks of having an education system too. You are being programmed on it. You go and repeat it. You don't know about it. You don't know. You didn't experience it. You read it on a book and you remembered it, and it's in your brain. And everybody thinks that's the truth, but nobody knows about it. It might be the truth. It might not be. It might be a friction character just reading a book just to get a mark sheet ready, or to get a pass, or to get the examination done. Nobody knows. And here's the thing, being educated means you are able to handle your life by yourself. You know who you are, you know how you handle yourself, you know your ego, you know your good qualities, you know your bad qualities, and you are stepping up from your quality, from what you are. This is being educated. But from the education system viewpoint, you go to a school, you go to organization, you go to a platform. They take some part of your time, of your life, maybe 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year, 5 year, maybe to bachelor's or PhD, and you're given a piece of paper and say, hey, you did this, so this is your educational standard. That's the education system. That's how the world runs. You go to a school, get a certificate, and from the certificate you are named a certain doctor, professor, engineer, and that's how you go. This is how the world runs. But being educated, on the other hand, it tells you, it lets you, or it helps you become a better person. It helps you to get yourself better with nature. It helps you to get better with yourself. It helps you to get in touch with your nature. If you are artistic, you go do your artistic work. If you are electric, you go and do your gadget-oriented work. If you are spiritual, you go and help people out. In this sense, it makes you complete. It makes you help live your happy life. It helps you live your life. But whereas the education system, it teaches a specialized teaching or schooling on a particular subject or a particular matter, and it gives you a handover, a certificate to standardize it and saying, hey, he had done this course, or he has this time of his life on this particular subject, and he gets a certificate for that. And that's how the schooling system works. in a way, we all have our ups and downs. We all have our plus and minuses. But for me, being educated, it's much more important. Having a critical thinker and being a critical thinker is much more important, because in that way, I have my own individuality and I have my own personal opinion as a being, as a human, and as a global citizen, let's just say, a terrestrial being from this plane of Earth that I can relate myself to. But today's world is all about certificates. It's all about facts. The facts that you've been given today might not be true tomorrow. The schooling system that was relevant today might not be tomorrow. But being educated, being a critical thinker will always be there. It will always be relevant. Relevancy matters, but your certificate, the education system, it's for critical time. It's just for a fixed time and fixed place. That's it. After 10 years, that your certificate might not be even your certificate. That might be even a subject anymore. So be careful on it. Most of the people think going on education system makes you educated. No. Being educated will help you gain your certificate too, gain knowledge too. You'll be much more knowledgeable person and be educated person, or be a full-fledged human being. But going to a system and relying on a system, you will be brainwashed. The system was invented by Rockefellers. So what they are the industrial, the main person or main dynasty, main family to roll over the world. So if you want to be a worker class, because it was invented in industrialized age, it was invented for workers, not thinkers. That's what his quote is. One John D. Rockefeller was asked by an interviewer or by a newspaper, why did you spread all the education system around the world? And the certain quote that he gave, I can't give you the exact answer, but the certain quote he gave was, I want more workers, not more free thinkers. What education system or being on a system tells you is they take your period of your time of your life, and in exchange they give you something, piece of paper, that might be money, that might be certificate, that might be something rewarding for equality. I have nothing to say. I was just explaining the way the education system and educated person would be like, and the way I see being educated or having a critical thinking would help you, or how the world might think in this way. And this is just my vision or my way of seeing the world and how the world runs, from thinkers to education. From my side, I don't have to be right, I don't have to be wrong, but this is just a personal opinion that you guys might carry, or you might need in tomorrow's world or today's world, that might help you get your life better a little bit, and to help you understand yourself a little bit, and be it might help you on gaining knowledge, on being educated, not education system, being educated a little bit more, and you might be helping yourself to be better. Thank you, and thank you for watching. That's all for today.